the mares and also claiming drivers because they could get left out in a system like this?
Well, we've thought about all that. At the moment, there probably ain't enough mares here racing to have their own races, but we've left the provision, obviously, that if we can get a group of mares in that amount of money, that they would be separated from the boys, because that's the whole thing. We don't really want the mares to be racing the boys either. The junior drivers are looked after as well. They get an allowance, a percentage allowance. Now, the same with the mares, but you can't claim it 2 times in the one race. So you can only get it once, whether you have a junior on or whether it's a mare. And it's only on their barrier position in that race. So that, they're still getting a let up as well. So there was a lot of thought went into the process between quite a lot of people. Shane Tritton had a lot to do with it. Leon Jerd, myself, and a few other guys from the UHRA, we all kind of threw in our 2 bits and pieces. But we've had to accommodate everyone, and we think we've done a fairly good job. Harness Racing New South Wales are pleased with it. Club Menangle are pleased with it, and I think it's going to be a big thing.
Now it is a trial, but with success, it will become the norm.
Yeah, I can't see any reason why it won't eventuate from this. It could lead into pretty much everyday racing in the whole of the state. But let's get this bit started. We just need to get support of the trainers to especially the first probably 5 or 6 weeks before we start to see horses moving up and down through the classes. As you see, you're going to get horses, free-for-allers that are probably, racing tough in the night with the likes of Hector and them. Got not a lot of money made. They'll start to drop down after 4 or 5 weeks. You'll get a couple that are probably low in their money, start to win those easier races and move up. So it's a good thing for gamblers too, because what happens is we get a different transition of horses from week to week. Instead of the same ones in the same races constantly week after week, it kind of gets a bit boring to watch. It also gets a bit monotonous when you can nearly pick the same horse to win every week. You're going to get horses on the way up. You're going to get horses on the way down. Different times of their career. It's going to make for, I think, a better betting race. And it does help those horses. And you mentioned it before, a horse like Western Rockstar. It helps those older horses, gives them a longer career here in Australia. Yeah, that's for sure. And that's the thing. Just because your horse was good one day, don't mean to say he should really have to race the likes of the best in the country, for the rest of his career. So I think that, once we get 5 or 6 weeks into it, people are going to really grasp the concept of it and understand that, you have to race your horse to get somewhere, whether it's going up or going down. Even if you're going down, if you were up there once, you're going to come back up again. And, we kind of knew this was going in. It's been a long time in the process. And, even my own horse, Better Bet Black, I raced him before we went away because I knew that was his 5th start and he'd have a little break to come back for this series to start. He dropped off a win. So, like I said, well, he's dropping off a win. That's going to be 4,700 that comes off. That'll probably put me from the top class down one more class, and that's going to be a big help for an old horse like that. So, like I say, we just need to give it, full support, and I think New South Wales could be in for a really bright future.
Beautiful. All right, that's perfect. Can I get you on the radio on Tuesday to talk about it as well?
Yeah, no worries.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll give
Tuesday,
you
what
Tuesday,
time?
10:35?
That's right, yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, mate. Thanks, mate. Oh. You holding?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. What was it? 2:12.8. Bull market, the winner there at Albion Park. Just before we go to the Meadows, back here at Menangle, the Frith Stakes coming up. Miss Riviera Bell for Shane Tritton going around. Shane, how's the mare at the moment?
Yeah, look, she's had 3 runs back from a spell. She's getting to where she needs to be, and this is the race she needs to be in. So we're going to chance our arm tonight and see where we're at.
And if the speed comes from outside, you're happy to hold?
Yeah, look, I think
Dirk Bale, the winner there at the Meadows. We've got Globe Derby coming up in just a moment. Just speaking with Shane Tritton about his runner in the next year in the Frith Stakes. Now, if there is pressure from the outside, and there well could be, with a horse like Raka Razor drawn out wide on the track, do you want to hold the front with your horse?
Yeah, look, I think she has to in this race just to see where we're at. And, if she can lead and roll and make the good horses earn it when we've got the draw, then we're going to know whether we're good enough. So tonight's the night to find out.
All right, good luck tonight.
Thanks, mate.
Now here's Shane Tritton. He's the trainer of Miss Riviera Bell, who goes around here in the next. Globe Derby, we're not too far away. Let's head to Globe Derby and join. Shane Tritton in 5, 4, 3, 2. New handicapping system, Shane. It gives the older horses more opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I'm really excited. This has been brought up for many years over many trainers and many organisations to try and bring this in. It'll just mean that, you know, our best horses won't become liabilities. They'll stay and they race, and even if we've got to create races for like horses. But look, I think if we can give it a go, it'll be a revelation in harness racing.
Darren McCall suggested it might take 5 or 6 weeks just for it to settle in, but then once the system gets going, people will understand what happens, the horses will get used to it, trainers will get used to it, and then it should flow quite smoothly.
Oh, definitely. Look, the first 5 weeks are an issue just because you're having horses handicapped on a different system, and it will change, but trust me, it's a system where people know where they're going to be, and they know once they go up, they can come down, and once they go down, they might go back up. So it's just, you know, I honestly believe it'll be the saviour to Sydney Metro racing. And look, I think there's other aspects. Drivers, you'll get outside drivers happening to pick off and pick on to other horses, and that means the professional driver will start to get more of a go rather than just sticking with particular stables. I think that's a great thing for the sport. And I think, you know, the punters will get more of a go because you'll have horses moving every week, and you'll have different horses racing different barriers out of different classes, and it should be it should be good for everyone. I can't see a negative.
10 horse fields is a good thing too. I think a lot of people who are punters, trainers, they like to see all horses off the front.
Look, I think I think everyone's happy with 10 horse fields. 12 horses just gets a little bit tricky, and it's hard for drivers and trainers. But look, this system wasn't created to get back to 10, but 10 is a necessity when, you know, you're handicapping on prize money. So look, I think there's just so many positives. It's too hard to bring into it, but I'm just glad that it's been put together, and I think it'll be very special.
And I don't think people realise the top 10 horses race for the best prize money, and then the next 10 they race for the second most amount of prize money. So the good horses are still racing for the good coin.
Oh, definitely. And also, you know, you might think to yourself, okay, well, you know, Lenny the Sharks and that, as tonight, Hector JJ's, they're hard to beat, but under this system, you're still getting a good piece of the pie to run second, third, and fourth. So it's you're wanting to be racing for that good money because, you know, you're getting your chance. And if the horses that keep beating you, they're going to keep drawing outside you, you're going to get your shot. So, but I think that the main horses that are going to benefit are the ones just below, who have always had an issue finding a race. Under this system, we're going to create races for the horses that are, you know, 2 rungs below the Hector JJs, and you know, they're the horses that get lost, and it's a pity because in 90% of the stables, they're your best horse. So it's a shame we've lost so many in the past, but this system should allow us to keep them.
Beautiful, mate. Thank you very much. All right, Josh Aiken in 5, 4, 3, 2. What did you make of Hector tonight, mate?
Yeah, he was super. He came on a bit from last week and felt a little bit better.
What did you make of the last 800 metres? You guys were really humming.
Yeah, it was really quick, and we sort of really started zipping from the top of the straight. But yeah, I couldn't have been happy with the way he got up the straight.
And the 2,300 metres didn't worry him at all?
No, you know, he got challenged over different distances in Perth. And
we have Luke McCarthy, the first semi-final, the 4-year-old Colts and Gelding semi-final here at Tabcorp Park on the 17th of June, and it's Real Stride is the winner. Nice win tonight, Luke, with Real Stride. He done what he had to. It was settled early and took off halfway up the back there and got to the chair and done what he had to do.
Yeah, well, no, he's a nice horse, and he's got a really good record, and his win last week was really good. He's sort of done a heap of work from barrier 10 and went 155 for the 2,300, and you know, he's had to do all the work again tonight, so yeah, he went super.
Look, he's lightly raced. I think I was talking to Emilio, his owner, earlier. There was an intention there to give him 2 or 3 weeks off. He ended up having 6 or 8 months off. Was there any reason for that?
He had a tendon as a 2-year-old. He was in Melbourne, and he had a bump on his tendon, so Emil gave him a big spell, and then at 3 he's come back and he won 6 in a row, and then his tendon went a bit sore again, so he had another really good spell again, and then he's come back this preparation. He's been really sound, and he doesn't do much work on the track. He's in our pool and water walker all the time, so you know, he's sort of racing into fitness.
Look, I know Emilio's got a nice soft spot for this horse. With the barrier draws, there's no guessing. You know you're going to draw where you're going to draw, barrier 14. Does that make your job a bit easier, knowing where you are next week and how you're going to prepare the horse for that race?
Not really. It's going to be tricky from the back row. It's I think I would have even preferred to draw 9 or 10 with him. At least you can sort of move straight forward. But anyway, that's where he's drawn because he's highly assessed, and I'm sure he'll still be one of the major players for the final.
Look, Luke, I've always had a saying here at Menangle, there's no bad barriers, only a better price. So if we can get some of that good price Sunday week, I'm sure Emilio will be shouting the bar.
That's right. Thanks, Mikey.
Thanks, Luke. Can you hear me? Yep, we're good. When you're done, it's Power Red. Are you right? We have Amanda Turnbull, Power of Red, the second semi-final winner here at Tabcorp Park on the 17th of June. Amanda, Power of Red, as a 3-year-old, I think he won the Simpson Memorial here. There's been a little bit of time there between wins, but he come back with a vengeance tonight.
Yeah, he's once he gets his mind on the job, he's all right, but it's getting him up there, up in front of the pack, and yeah, see how we go.
Look, with the barrier draws, it's a preferential barrier draw, so you are going to draw basically where you were this week. I'm sure that's going to play to your advantage, knowing that some of the big dangers are going to be off the back line next week.
Yeah, if he can stay in front of them, he'll do a good job. He sort of won't let them past him, but he won't chase, so we've got to be ahead of him.
Look, I know his owner, Rob Davies, is a great supporter of the stable and a great supporter of harness racing. I'm not sure who'll be, if he's in front with 100 to go, I don't know who'll be running faster down the straight, but it'd be lovely to see him win a nice big race, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be real good. I think he beats most of them up the straight, but yeah, it'd be good to get a win for him.
All the best for next week, Amanda.
Thank you.